Welcome back, adventurers. This week we're faced with a freak 90-knot tornado with extensive local property and yacht damage. What will we find when we return back to Expedition Barefoot in Greece? And another cheeky Portofino update for you. Also, we explore Rafa's hometown Bologna, Italy, just down the road from the Grande Motte Boat Show, as well as join us for passage planning and prepping the boat for the new season to come. We are John and Ellie, the Barefoot Doctors, sailing and travelling around the globe. Join us as we share the adventure and explore the beauty of the world, because life is better barefoot. Before we fly back to Expedition Barefoot, Rafa generously takes us for a visit to his hometown in Italy, beautiful Bologna. Visiting Bologna, Italy is a culinary journey through the heart of this region, renowned for its exquisite cuisine and world-class wines. This historic city, often referred to as La Grassa, the fat one, offers a rich tapestry of flavours that delights the palate. It's all about the taste, not calories. From the fresh, handcrafted pastas, Bologna is a paradise for food lovers. What have you gotten us into, honey?
I can feel my stomach swelling already.
My jeans are tight. Paired with robust regional wines such as Lambrusco, a visit here transcends mere sightseeing. It's an immersive feast for the senses, where every meal tells a story of passion, tradition, unparalleled gastronomic heritage.
In a way where the peel is preserved, the alcohol extracts the pigment from the grape.
But these are actually real flowers, and they're all the way down in the corridor on pots. I wish you could smell them. As you can tell, I don't suffer from hay fever.
Beyond its culinary delights, Bologna boasts a rich academic and architectural history. It is home to the University of Bologna, the oldest university in the world, where the first anatomy dissections were studied, making a significant advancement in medical science. Also, the city skyline is dotted with medieval towers, and it makes Bologna a unique blend of gastronomic paradise and historical treasures, inviting visitors to savour its many delights.
So Rafa's going to show us what amazing things we're going to have in the new Portofino 52.
This is the workshop table of the Portofino 52. With a tools drawer, you can put your store. Otherwise, if you need to make some overall of some pump on board, you can put this one on the boat. We'll list a little bit of outside.
Thanks so much to Rafa and Francesca for your wonderful hospitality. Look out for the full tour of Bologna and its surrounds in the playlist to come.
We are back! We're back for our sailing season again, and we are so excited. We've missed it so much. We're back in Rhodes in the marina, and interestingly enough, while we're away, there was two tornadoes, one from the land and one from the sea, and it ripped through this area and it tossed up boats and things like that. Our boat, Expedition Barefoot, was right in the middle, surrounded by boats, but it was protected, no damage at all. Our car that was here got quite a big ding in the front of it, but that can be fixed as well. So the roofs were being lifted off, and it was actually a roof that crashed into our car. So boats were being flung in the air and then smashed back down again and then spinning on the ground. We've heard all the stories. So we're off sailing Greece for 3 months. I can't wait. And there's a storm coming through tomorrow apparently, so we might have to batten down the hatches tomorrow. My plants survived!
The
Look,
spring
the
onion.
rosemary, spring onion.
That hasn't. What's that?
That's rosemary, but this is rosemary
The little
anyway.
rosemary survived.
Yeah.
Wow, the
And
aloe
also
vera
the
is
aloe vera.
almost surviving. I think it survived. It'll
Just need to give
needs
it
a bit
some
of
water. But look, we're back, lovely.
So the cover on our tea tables worked fine. That's been blown around a little bit.
Come in and smell the boat. It still smells new. It's got that new boat smell.
It's absolutely fantastic to be back! guys from the marina have been looking after it, running the generator every month.
This is new marina in Rhodes.
Yeah,
at Greece.
I mean, we will check everything, but I've checked the batteries already. The batteries are charged.
We'll get our sheets and our blankets out because it's cold.
I hate to say that. Look, these guys have left acetone. We hate acetone.
The one thing they could have left on board, and it had to be acetone. Isn't that ridiculous?
Actually, there's very little in it. There's probably only half an inch of acetone left in it. Put it on the back step. Oh, doesn't my skin look wonderful in the setting sunlight?
All right, guys, so one of the things about getting back on board after a few months is going around and checking everything, and straight away I noticed the fridges had been closed. Now, we have had workers on board and they probably leaned against them, but the reason that you have the fridges ajar is because they get moldy and then they stink. So at the moment we have some pretty stinky fridges.
Elizabeth cleaned these out completely before you left.
Nothing in the grooves and everything.
But even though it looks absolutely clean, you can't see any mold, but they stink.
So I'm going to have to give them a good clean out again.
Okay, and here is the cockpit fridge, which is below the steering station. You can see how it is ajar, so it didn't get moldy, but you see it actually can't close. That is because I used duct tape and a wine cork to stop it from closing. Nice, simple, effective. Reconnected the battery.
Yep.
Yay! Thank goodness for that.
Good on you, beastie. We want to go into town to get our SIM cards. Even though we've got Wi-Fi connection at the marina, obviously driving around we need internet, we need maps, and also when we're sailing around we need internet. We're back at Expedition Barefoot and we have been welcomed by this wonderful weather.
Yeah, look, a quick update. We came back early to try and get a lot of sailing done before we sell the boats in about end of August, early September. We came back before the season actually started, and this is what you can expect. It's cold weather and storms.
Anyway, we are here at the marina and we're stormbound, so there's a storm that's come through. We've got about 30 knots of wind at the moment, not too bad, but it has been stronger. But what we wanted to share with you is how noisy the marinas can be when you're stormbound. So I'm just going to be quiet and you can hear the woo-woo wind in the background and the thwacking of the sails, and have a look at this sail here. Looks like that can happen quite a lot where sails unravel themselves, and that's one of the reasons you should take your furled sails down for the winter. It is a pretty big storm and we've just got to sit it out. It's freezing cold and I want to go inside. But anyway, this is Ellie McIntosh on Expedition Barefoot in Greece, in Rhodes, on location. And we are back in sunny Greece. Wouldn't you believe it? But we're in the middle of the storm right now and we're stormbound in the marina at Rhodes. We're on the deck over there.
The bung is out of the dinghy, so the water will just drain out of the dinghy.
Holy heck! We're getting smashed by hail and strong winds over 40 knots. There's lightning around us and we're just keeping an eye out to make sure that we're hopefully not going to get struck by lightning. Wow, the wind's just changed direction and it's now coming from the other direction. Wow, we're being pummeled. But we've got plenty of ropes on holding us off the dock. Wow, there's much bigger hail now. Big drop. Look at those big drops of hail. I don't know if you can hear it, guys, but that's us being pummeled by hail. Wow, they're big drops of hail.
Look, huh? Look at them.
My goodness, that was crazy. Pretty intense. I mean, the hail was kind of like this, the biggest one, and you could see it plonking in the water. Anyway, the joys of boat life. Not so many texts, but we need a lot of data.
And that's also we can send out the videos to you guys, so make sure you like, subscribe and ding the bell, because that's why we're paying 1,480 lira for you guys. Come on, you gotta subscribe.
Yeah, we've just come back from the boat show, which was awesome in itself. So we're going to go back inside because it's time to talk about passage planning.
Yeah, so we've got some decisions to make. Which way do we go? We've got about 6 weeks or 2 months to sail in Greece until we have to leave. So we need to decide which way to go. Let's go and have a discussion. So we are here in Rhodes at the moment. So now we've got two choices. Either we go up north into these northern Aegean islands, or we go southwest to see the islands Carpathos and then across to Crete. Crete's the biggest island in Greece, and there's a lot to see. On the one hand, the disadvantage with Crete is that it's a big island, so it takes a long time to get to the other side if the weather gets bad. The challenge we have in the passage planning is which way the wind's coming. Typically, the Maltemes and the prevailing winds come from the north down the middle, and they turn to the the northwest as they come around the bottom of Turkey. So Rhodes gets a lot of northwesterly winds. So for us to sail northwest, we're going directly into the wind. And I looked at the weather charts for the next week, and basically it's northwesterly winds for 7 days. Then you might get a couple of days of southerly winds or different direction winds, then it'll go back to the northerlies or northwesterlies. So to go north is much more of a challenge. We are here in Rhodes, northerly winds, Crete's down there to the left, northerlies and then northwesterlies, as I've said. Wednesday, tomorrow, again, more westerly winds. It's coming down, then veering more to the west, but you can see even the angles to get down across to Carpathos and Crete are good. If we sail up there, we could sail up here and get into calm winds, but we'd really have the wind on our nose. Sunday's bad weather. We certainly would probably be hiding away from that. This is the winds. Let me just change it to gust just to give people an experience. Wind gusts. So here you can see now that looks much more ominous than the last one. You touch the map, you get a cross. So the cross that's gusting 36 knots. Up there in the top left corner, 36 knots.
36 knots.
You can see how this corner of Turkey really protects this area of water. So the winds up here are so much lighter than these winds down the Aegean. So that's why our experience is that this coast of Turkey has so much better weather than the Greek islands. Greek islands are obviously very lovely, but you get much more significant winds. You see, so you got 2 days of northerlies, then there must be a front pushing this pretty unpleasant winds coming from the west. So wow, look at that.
Ew.
So I mean, this is at the end of Thursday, 42 knots.
Not a leisurely sail.
So if we were to sail across to Crete and spend a bit of time there, and then we wanted to come up to these islands more to the north, you can see how if there was a northerly blowing, at least that would be a more achievable angle on a single tack. We should be able to get up to these islands. When we go to Turkey, we want to go to Bodrum, which is up here just above Kos. So from even the middle of Crete to Kos is quite a civilized angle. From that side it would be a more broad angle. So Navionics have a nice little measuring tool down here, bottom right hand corner, hit it, and then it'll give you distances. So distance as a straight line from where we are to the east end of Crete is 120 miles. 20 miles to Lindos, which is there. Another 20 miles or so to the bottom end of Rhodes. Then about 40 miles across to Carpathos. I have heard that that's a nice little island. That's only 15 miles, 20 miles, and then a crossing. So you can do this in lots of easy short hops, 32 miles.
So this is how we formulated our basic passage plan, with the understanding that we would have to hide away from those 25 to 35 plus knot winds every 3 days. The other really important thing is to keep an eye on the weather up ahead, because while you do get a 10-day forecast, forecasts change quite significantly, and we found that even 2 days out from some of these stronger blows, the direction, the severity and the timing of these blows change significantly. So always keep your eyes on the weather up ahead and modify your passage plan whenever necessary. So hang on to your hats for this very windy ride.
Okay guys, so one of my favorite jobs is cleaning out the storage. And this is why I make such a big deal about hatches having these holes in them there. Because if they're in the floor and you've just got holes in them, all the dirt and dust just travels all the way down, and hair travels all the way down into those bilges, and they're absolutely horrid. So I try and seal as much as I can with lids and seal containers and things like that, but I've always got to clean them out. So if you possibly can, try and get some hatches without holes in them so that the dirt, the dust and the hair doesn't find its way all the way through your... So this is what I'm talking about. It's disgusting, I know, but that's why I clean it out all the time. So you've got hair here, you know, and I mean, I sweep the floor virtually every day and it gets mopped on a very regular basis, but still all this crud, apart from a few, you know, stuff that's come out of the packet, falls down those holes. You've got to turn it into a positive thing. So each time I sit down to clean up this bilge, I'm doing some yoga stretches as well. John just gave me a strange look.
Go wider, go wider.
Get bigger bilges. That's it from me. I got to get going to clean out these bilges.
Okay, so the next job is to put the oil filter on the Honda 20 horsepower outboard and then fill it up with oil, connect the fuel and get it running again. I've already changed the petrol filter and I have changed the oil in the gearbox, so that's all done before we left for the winter.
Let's see what John's doing. Honey, what are you doing now?
I'm going to dive to try and find the mats at the bottom of the harbour here.
But it's freezing.
I know.
The water's very cold.
We're leaving tomorrow, and if we don't do it now, we'll lose them.
And why did we lose them?
The mat must have moved, and then it dropped into the water. The passerelle was still there, but the mats had dropped into the water.
Let's go and watch. Good luck, honey. Don't have a heart attack, honey. Are you sure you want to get the mats? It's really not worth it. So, she's got a line. Turns out the rope wasn't long enough. Look!
Thanks, man. How much are these worth?
Not that much. Ah! You found it! Oh my goodness!
Found one.
Wow! Champion stuff!
Yeah.
Oh my goodness! I don't believe it.
It's a different colour from when I went down.
But it's a principle, right? Just rinse it a bit more, honey. Wow, look at all that silt.
So many people have been clamoring for an update on the Portofino 52, and fortunately we were able to bring you these pictures that were taken by Clint, one of our star Patreons and the owner of hull number 2, was visiting Dubai to see his boat, so he took these photos for all of us. Here you can see the two hulls are joined by the underwing, which is fairly complete on the underneath. And you can see the nice smooth lines of the underwing to allow water to flow through. Remember that all those cross beams are just to prevent twisting from the heat as the welding is done, so they will all be removed later. You can see the nice smooth lines of the hulls as we walk down the side of the port hull. You can see the shoulder and the flare of the hulls reasonably clearly, and this is what will create the nice living space inside the hulls when it's completed. Stepping up the transom, we see the full extent of the two hulls put together and the large expanse from the underwing. The stringers and the frames all create stability and strength for the hull, and you can see the quality of the welds and the craftsmanship. Going to the bow of the boat, you can see the crossbeam is now in place, and this is a remarkable and beautiful design, and being triangular it's much stronger, so can be built with less weight. So now the expanse of this boat is becoming evident with the lovely flat decks and what looks like a huge expanse of space between the two hulls. The 5 kilowatt lithium batteries have been ordered in advance, so they are already in stock, ready to go. Another really nice option that is given when you get a Portofino is to create a crew berth in the forward hull. This area is large enough to hold a single bed as well as a toilet and a shower, so the crew member can be completely independent in that area if necessary. If it's not being used as a crew berth, it can just be used as a sail locker as usual. So this is definitely going to be one of the additions that we're going to have on our Portofino 52. Clint reckons that this will be a great place for a 6-year-old kid to camp out and sleep by himself, as if he's out in the wilderness. And here is yet another amazingly sensible idea that Portofino boats will be offering. Instead of the traditional way that electrical wires are run down to the bottom of the mast, then out, and then in through another hole in the deck, which obviously leads to the risk of damage from ropes or people standing on them, Portofino has machined a dedicated flange that will fit inside the mast and through the saloon deck, so that all the lines run inside the mast and directly into the boat. And this is really an example of how experienced sailors will create better designs because they know where problems arise. And of course, Raphael at Portofino has been fixing up all these breaks in other boats for the last 2 decades.
We hope you've enjoyed this episode, and thanks for watching. Big shout out to our loyal Patreons who continue to help save lives around the world. But next week, join us for more fun as we sail into some more wild weather. Thanks for joining us on this journey, and don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you want to be a part of an exciting way to save lives around the world, join our Patreon family and get up close and personal with us.